So this last one is bear down. And hopefully I don't rile you up with this one if there's any of these that you're not too excited about for Bears decisions made recently. So order these in terms of, these are all done in the last basically season or so. So trading Roquan Smith for a second and a fifth. I did read one of your tweets, and that's why I included that. This is one that I was confused by. Chase Claypool for the Bears 2023 second, which is now the, I guess, 201. And Justin Fields, I believe, branded is the franchise quarterback. I think that's something you agree with as well.
Yeah, and I love that selection from the second they made it. I mean, I was going nuts on Twitter on draft night when the Bears traded up, selected Justin Fields, right at the wrong of trading up and selecting Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. They finally got it right. So, yeah, I think that's the easy keep for me. I am just thrilled to have him on the team, absolutely enamored by this kid's play. Could not think of a better face of the franchise. So that leaves the tough one of trading or cutting Claypool or Roquan. For me, let's go with trade. So the number 2 option would be Chase Claypool, and that was a disgusting move. Don't get me wrong, like me saying that that's number 2. This is very much so a half glass empty type of scenario. It was still a terrible move. I mean, I just talked about this. I was on a show with Pat Fitzmaurice earlier today, and it's just unbelievable what the Steelers were able to do. They were able to draft Chase Claypool with a mid-second pick, get one decent year out of him his rookie season, where it really wasn't a good year. Just scored a lot of touchdowns, but I'll cede that point. And then 2 years of mediocrity, and then they're somehow able to trade him for more value than they originally invested in him. I don't know. I don't know how the Bears fell for this one. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of this move, but it's just crazy to me. Also, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, what this team does better than any team in the NFL is draft and develop wide receiver talent. And they had Deontay Johnson, who they extended. They drafted George Pickens in the second round, who the Bears could have drafted and passed on twice. And then when they publicly say we're going to trade Chase Claypool, how is any team dumb enough to fall for that trap? Like, if the Steelers are trying to trade away a guy after they just brought in and extended another player, we should have known Claypool wasn't going to live up to the bill, but whatever. They drafted Claypool, so not happy about that one. But that brings us to the one that I dislike even more than that, which was getting rid of Roquan Smith. I could not stand that move, and I think the tweet you might be talking about at the time, I'm not sure which one you pulled up because I fired off a lot of tweets, but the day of the tweet, I said the Bears get an F for this and the Ravens get an A+ for it, and people thought that I was being overreactive, and maybe I was, but I think it was just a terrible move altogether. And I understand, you're not supposed to play an off-ball linebacker, and middle linebacker is a non-premium position. Well, have you seen what the Baltimore Ravens look like before and after Roquan Smith? Because he showed up there in Baltimore and they were unbelievable. At the time of trading Roquan Smith, the Bears were 3-4. Then they got rid of Roquan Smith, didn't win another game for the rest of the year. So this could have been, a part of the tank, them just hoping to finish out the season poorly. But 25 years old, a blue chip talent, one of the best linebackers in the league. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with that deal. And a lot of people have said, well, he was going to walk after this deal anyway. The Bears could have franchise tagged him. They had over, an entire offseason to try to work something out. The one thing that I talk about a lot is Lance Briggs back in, I want to say it was 2005, maybe 2006. Lance Briggs, middle linebacker for the Bears, famously said, "I'm not getting paid what I deserve, and I will never play for the Chicago Bears again." Well, guess what? He played that year. Next year, they gave him a big extension, and then he went on to have back-to-back all-pro seasons and was Lance Briggs. Everybody knows Lance Briggs. Everyone loves Lance Briggs. They could have done that with Roquan Smith, and I think that just letting him walk when all you can get in return was a second-round pick was just them giving up entirely too early. I wish they had just spent more time trying to mend the relationship rather than just saying, well, this is a loss. We can't keep Roquan Smith.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that Ravens defense, because now it's Patrick Queen next to Roquan Smith, among a number of other incredible talents. Chuck Clark in the defensive backs. I went to Virginia Tech, so I love to see Hokie get out there and play well. But it is also unbelievable with what the Bears have been able to do, and I think we'll talk about this a little bit later in terms of it's over $100 million in cap space, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
them.
I
think it was 135, and then nobody else above 65.
Unreal. Yeah, so they basically did the opposite of what the Saints do. The Saints are going to try and get back to zero, and the Bears are going to do really whatever they want. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be that offseason where it's like, okay, you have unbelievable power with the money, the 101, all that. What can happen here? And you got your franchise quarterback. I know some people push back. I don't really know why. But I feel like if you have that, and as you build, protection around him, Claypool maybe becomes something. I'm a big Darnell Mooney guy, big Cole Kmet guy. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? So looking forward to seeing what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, I see Roquan Smith as just an important piece, just as important of a piece on defense as Justin Fields was on offense. I mean, you had two pieces on each side of the ball that you could have built around, and to let Roquan Smith walk for a second was just abhorrent, in my opinion.
Yeah, he definitely felt like an anchor when he was there. I mean, again, he was a premium draft pick when he was made for a reason, and I think he did nothing but prove that he was worth that pick. So.
And it took, the Bears had 3.5 years to extend him and didn't do it. And it took the Ravens all of 6 weeks to say, yep, we want this guy for the next 5 years.
They were like, we've got it right now. Just do it right now. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, we'll push Lamar's contract to the back burner. We got to make sure this Roquan Smith kid is here to stay. That should tell you everything you need to know.
We're not going to give Lamar more of the guarantee than Kyler got. But Roquan, we got this guy.